Well, hello again. Come walk with me. So, did you know that we have more than one stomach? In fact, we have three. We all know about the stomach that they all teach us about, the physical stomach that we consume food and it goes into our stomach and it breaks it down, begins the beginning process of breaking it down for various nutrients that are later extracted by our body. But we have three other stomachs, and we have to make sure those are fed too in order to have good overall health. And I'm talking about holistic health, and I don't mean in the granola sense. But I mean, I guess it is kind of in the granola sense. You'll see what I mean. Before I get into the other stomachs, it's important to understand that there are four aspects to our being, to being human. And those aspects are, of course, the physical, and then we have the emotional, we have the mental, and we have the spiritual. And all four of these have to be fed properly with proper nutrients in order to feel fulfilled and have overall good health. So we already know about the physical stomach, but now what about the emotional stomach? The emotional stomach needs to be fed with things that make us feel good. Positive music, maybe poetry, maybe activities that bring us joy, like spending time with friends, or seeing a good movie, maybe reading an enthralling book, a drama, something like that. Oops, just a second. All right, sorry, I had somebody walk by. And so feeding the emotional stomach also has to do with making sure that we have surroundings that bring us joy. It has to do with the various material things like our furnishings, our clothes. I think I already mentioned clothes, but various things like that bring us joy. The next stomach is our mental stomach. Now that is our mind. It's important to feed our mind something nutritious, something positive every day in order to have holistic happiness. Ugh, I hate saying that word holistic. I sound like a hippie. I sound like a tree-hugging hippie, but it's true. So, how do you feed your mind? So, the beginning of every day, feed for about 5 to 10 minutes. Feed your mind something that's positive as well. It would have to do with like reading a book that stimulates you mentally. Maybe it stimulates your logic. Maybe it's a book or maybe a video that's like a documentary, something that you learn. It could be some book about research that covers a various topic that you enjoy. And also the part of the mind has to do with the creative aspect of the mind. So of course we're also talking about various creative tasks, maybe like painting or writing or poetry. Engage in some activity like that feeds the mind in a positive way, of course. You don't want to feed your mind a bunch of trash. So we covered the mental stomach. Now let's cover the spiritual stomach. Now the spiritual stomach, of course, is going to be about our spiritual nature. It's going to be that which connects us to our higher power. Or I'll also cover things, if you're an atheist or you're agnostic, we'll cover topics. We'll cover how to feed the spiritual stomach without involving religion. But so feeding the spiritual stomach, as I stated in a previous video, one of the best ways to feed your spiritual stomach is to get together with like-minded people who want to seek higher power as a group. I can't tell you how much that helps a person with their overall health. So for many years now, most of my adult life, I've struggled with various mental health and physical health challenges. And there's this one time that I went to a spiritual gathering of people I know online. We would get together every year. Yeah, I know, not that much, right? Anyways, and on this one particular year, we got together and we did our various spiritual practices. We gathered in groups and did like laying on of healings, that type of thing. And I had such an amazing experience. I might save the details for a future video if you want that, because it was mind-blowing. But the effect it had on me lasted for multiple weeks afterwards. So it gave me a lot of relief from negative thinking, depression, anxiety. My physical energy went through the roof, and I felt so inspired just to help other people, like improve myself and help other people. So I would say church or any other kind of spiritual gathering of like-minded people is one of the easiest ways to feed your spiritual stomach. But if you don't want to gather with people, you could just read a holy book of your choice. You could sing songs that connect you to your higher power. You could volunteer. And that actually dovetails well with practices for people that are atheists or agnostic or otherwise have an aversion to organized religion. And I'm not knocking you for it. I totally understand. But basically, any kind of medium like book, movie, TV show, music that inspires you to improve yourself and to help you, and inspires you to serve your fellow humans, then that will satisfy the condition of feeding your spiritual stomach. All right, well, we have covered how to feed your other three stomachs: emotional, mental, and spiritual. And it is very important to make sure all of those are fed for overall happiness, health, and fulfillment. Alrighty. That's really all I have to say about that. Thanks for watching.